work through a few problems from the Math 3 Unit 9 Worksheet 4, Graphing Logarithmic Functions. And the instructions here state, for the following logarithmic functions, graph, find the x and y intercepts, state the domain and range, and find the equation of the vertical asymptote. So let's begin by looking at number 5. So in number 5 we have negative natural log of x minus 4. The negative in front is going to reflect the log. The minus 4 is going to move everything or translate everything to the right. The parent graph of the logarithm has a vertical asymptote at x equals 0, which is the y-axis. Since we're moving to the right 4 units, that vertical asymptote moves right 4 units. So I'm going to plot that first. So there we have our vertical asymptote with an equation x equals 4. This is not going to have a y-intercept since our log function stays to the right of our vertical asymptote. And it's going to be upside down. So here's a little quick sketch. It's going to be something like this, and I'll fix that. But you see that it's not going to cross the y-axis, so we're going to write none for our y-intercept. We can find our x-intercept by plugging in 0 for y and solving. I'm going to multiply both sides by a negative, and I get 0 is natural log of x minus 4. Remember, natural log is a log with a base e, so this is saying e to the power 0 is equal to x minus 4. E to the power 0 is 1. And then we add 4 to both sides. And so we have an x-intercept at 5, 0. So next, I'm going to look for a couple points here. I'm going to ask, well, if y equals 1, what's x? So I'm going to plug in 1 for y. And with logs, it's often easier to plug in y and solve for x. So that's why I'm working backwards here. I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 1. Remember, this is base e, so this is asking the question e to the negative 1 is equal to x minus 4. And so x is going to be, if I add 4 to both sides, 4 plus e to the negative 1. So at this point, I'm going to have to use a calculator to approximate this value. So I type in 4 plus 1 divided by e. And I get roughly 4.37. So at 4.37, we're at a height of 1. Try one more, get one more point here. Let's try when y is negative 1. So here we're going to get negative 1 is negative natural log of x minus 4. So positive 1 is natural log of x minus 4. So e to the 1 is equal to x minus 4. So x is 4 plus e. And 4 plus e using my calculator is roughly 6.7. Or I could put 6.72. And at that point, y is going to be negative 1. So about right here. And so if I draw a smooth curve through here, this is our logarithmic curve. Domain is all x values greater than 4. Our range is all real numbers. Let's look at number 8. Number 8, the most important part is this right here. We're moving to the right 3 units. And so our vertical asymptote has moved to the right 1, 2, 3 units. And then we can find some other points by plugging things in. Yes, the plus 1 does move us up 1, but I'm just going to find these points by plugging things in. So we start with our vertical asymptote, which is, as you see, at x equals 3. Next I'm going to go for the x-intercept. So to find the x-intercept, we plug in 0 for y. I'm going to subtract 1 first. Then change it to exponential form. So we get x is equal to 3 plus 4 to the negative 1/2, because I added 3 to both sides, and 4 to the negative 1/2 means 1/4. So 3 plus 1/4 as a decimal, that would be 3.25. And so our x-intercept is 3 1/4, comma 0. I'm going to get some more points here. When y is 1, let's see what we get for x. So we subtract 1, change to exponential form, 4 to the power of 0 is 1. Add 3 to both sides. And so we get the point 4, 1. We'll try one more here when y is 2. Subtract 1 first. So we get 4 to the power of 1 is x minus 3. Add 3 to both sides and you get x is 7. So 7, 2. I'm going to plot that point. And we see we have our logarithmic curve. No y-intercept as seen in the graph. It's not going to move to the left side of that vertical asymptote. Domain is everything from 3 to infinity. Range is everything from negative infinity to infinity.